Hello and welcome back to Just Code It. Today, we're going to be creating a Streamlit app that does some sentiment analysis. This is the first part in a two-part series where we're going to do sentiment analysis on this one. You can see the app on the right-hand side that just takes in a user-defined string of text. Then you hit Analyze Sentiment, which gives you the scores. So you get an overall sentiment and then the polarity, which is zero, or I'm pretty sure -1 to 1, which is based off of the positive and negative, and then subjectivity, which is objective or subjective. You can see this is very subjective. What we're using to do sentiment analysis is TextBlob. It's a lot like if you've ever used Spacey. It's also very similar. It's an NLP package, but it performs sentiment analysis pretty quickly and it's easy to install. The next app we're going to do is integrating this with Yahoo Finance, where you would input a stock ticker and it will get some of the news from there and then do sentiment analysis on that. So stay tuned for that episode or video. Well, let's get to the actual code. The first couple sections that I just filled out, we're just going to do page setup, give the page title, all that fun stuff. I'm just going to go through this quick. This is just the sidebar, which just has the information, not super important. You can leave that out if you want. And then we have the title of the app, just this title area. Let's actually get to the app that's running, the non-completed app. Here you can see the actual app that we're running right now. Let's close the other one, the non-completed app. It looks pretty similar. It's missing the text area. Also, if you scroll down to the bottom, you have the main function, which just calls all these methods, constructing the app. And you have the button right here, the Analyze Sentiment, but it does nothing right now. Back to the top, the first method we're going to work on is create text input. Create text input does really just one thing. It just provides that text input that the user is going to use. Then I'm just giving a default value for it using the value. So that sets that default. You can define the height, width, or placeholder. Now, because we have a default value, you won't see the placeholder, but if you get rid of it, you will. Then the key. So this is how we access it within the Streamlit session state. Up next, we have the Analyze Sentiment, which actually performs the sentiment analysis using TextBlob. What it does is it handles an empty one, so it's just neutral, but because we have default text, it will probably never be empty. Then it uses the blob and gives it the text. From there, all we're doing is doing blob, sentiment, and then polarity, or that negative positive score. Then we're also going to grab the subjectivity from that. That's the objective and subjective score. Using that, we're then going to define the positive, negative, and neutrals, and also just give it an emoji just for fun. The if statements for that, and returning the polarity, subjectivity, sentiment label, and emoji. The last method that we're going to work on is the perform analysis. This is the loop that will be going through and actually running the sentiment analysis. It's performing it and printing the outputs to the screen. How we're going to do this is we're going to start out with just an if statement and check to see if there's any text. If not, we're just going to show a warning. Then we're going to use a spinner, which is just going to do a loading screen while the Analyze Sentiment is running, because if you give it a ton of text, it might take a second. You want the user to be able to see that it is still actually running. Then after that completes, it will start showing the header for the analysis results. After that, we then split into two columns so we can start printing our outputs. The first column, we're going to do the overall sentiment. That's the sentiment and the emoji. So we're going to do either positive and then the emoji. We could have probably added that in the same string. Column 2 has the polarity score. Let's just save this real quick and run it. The polarity score, so that positive and negative. And then we also added a help there. You can see the little question mark there, and it will give you a description of it. The next one we have, which is just going to be a full, not using a column, is going to be the subjectivity, that objective versus subjective. Finally, we have the info box at the very bottom, just giving a little bit of information on what each one means. And that is it. It's a really quick app and you can use it for all sorts of stuff. So that is it for this brief introduction to sentiment analysis and a little sentiment analysis app in Streamlit. If you want a sneak peek of the stock sentiment analysis app thus far, I have it running as well. Here it is. What it will do is you'll put in a ticker like Apple, run sentiment analysis. It will give you some information on it, grabs a bunch of information, tells you if it's positive or negative, gives you the articles it's using. Currently, it's not actually going to the link and scraping the website. It's just using the title. I will change that before I actually make the video. Hopefully I will change that. We'll see how much work I want to put into it. That is it. Stay tuned for that video. If you have any questions, please comment down below. And I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you next time.